Henry called out Sean Strickland. Now, I don't mean that he called him out, he wanted to fight him. Henry called him out. Hey, Sean, keep those emotions to yourself. Keep some of this stuff private. Stay mysterious. Hold it together when you're up there. Use that. Keep that motivation. Don't let the world know it. Don't let them see what bothers you. Now, I only appreciate it because it's a very courageous thing to do. It really is, right? I mean, there's some guys, and you guys know this, there's some guys that you treat a certain way. Like the baddest dude in your high school might not have been the baddest dude in your high school, but you did know he was willing, and you did know if you said it, it was going to happen, and you were going to have to find out. Whereas the guy that you really thought was the baddest was a pretty nice guy. Right? Kind of one of those situations. I know that you can understand that to a degree. And it's interesting to me when Cejudo goes after Sean because he wasn't putting him down. He was sharing his perspective. And there's something that makes Henry tick that I don't know. I know a lot about Henry. Personal friend, known him a long time, followed his career, started as a fan. Before I became his friend, I started as a fan. I talked to him on the phone. We'd come out, we'd do different stuff together. Wrote a book, I read his book. Used to do speaking engagements. I showed up. Listened to the whole story of his life at the Reno Tournament of Champions before the final session. 2010? 2009? But there's something else there. There's something inside of him. There's something that George St. Pierre used to refer to as dark. There's something there. There is an anger. There was something that he can relate to that he has not revealed to us, where he's taking his own advice. I don't know what it is. I hope that it's not the same subject. It's very touchy stuff, but I'm sharing with you where he told Sean, don't tell the world what this is. Go ahead and keep it. Go ahead and be pissed off. Go ahead and be fueled by it, but don't show him. And it was just an interesting comment. And Henry was doing this piece, and he was talking about Eleazar. You're calling me, buddy. I'll call you right when I'm done with this. Big fan, Eleazar DeLuca. I gotta tell you, though, speaking of Eleazar, because the last time I talked to him, we talked about Henry. Guess what Henry said? Henry said the closest to Khabib that we have. You guys know this? I feel like I need a drum roll. This isn't a statement being made. This is from Henry Cejudo, the greatest combat athlete of all time. 125-pound Olympic champion. 121-pound Olympic champion. 125-pound mixed martial arts champion. 135-pound mixed martial world champion. Youngest to have ever done it. He said the closest to Khabib that we have and that we've seen. Are you ready for this? Belal Muhammad. Now, it would have been interesting, and if I would have given you guys a little bit more time and said, hey, no, I really, give me a comment. I really want you to guess. I really want to hear what you say. I think that you would think he was going to say himself. Olympic champion wrestling, go at you, got this style, push into the fence. I think that would have been your guess. But it's not what he said. And see, it's very relevant. It's very relevant that in the same interview that he got in Sean Strickland's business, that he put over Muhammad. He earns credibility. You guys seen it that same way? He earns credibility by not being afraid to step to Sean. And Henry wears 3 different hats. He's getting into analyst role, which he's very good at. He, of course, is a fighter. He's got this contest coming up with Merab. He's still chasing world championships. He's still a young man. But he's a coach. He's got the gym. He's got world champions under him. Wei Li was under him. The dude, Figueiredo was under him. Jon Jones was out under him. I know that Prohaska was headed out there. For some reason, I want to say like there was a flight delay. So this guy's got 2, 3, 4 world champions in his gym. He's a coach as well. So it's interesting when he goes after Strickland. It's interesting because it didn't come off as disrespectful. And it was interesting when he used within that same interview to praise Muhammad. And I don't know what their relationship is. But Belal's out there training in Illinois. Henry's out in Arizona doing his thing from sunup to sundown. I don't know that there's crossover. I don't know that there was any shine there. I don't remember a card that they fought on together. I don't remember them being boys. It sounded very sincere. And the Olympic champion is saying that Belal Muhammad is the closest thing to Khabib that we have. And Khabib was fascinating for a number of reasons, but none of them greater than you knew what he was going to do. I mean, it's what made Mike Tyson so great. Everybody in sport wanted to hide their secrets. I mean, right here in MMA, you got coaches that'll think and rethink. That they're throwing out codes. They're telling you 12 under 4 submarine, which means 25 seconds left. That is not a joke, by the way. They are throwing codes out. They don't want your opponent to know. Going, you don't want the opponent to know the goddamn time that's posted up in the arena in 4 different. What are you talking about? You're going to confuse me. I'm going to add 30 seconds. I've had coaches do this to me. Hey, Chael, I'm going to add 30 seconds to everything. Why? I don't care. I don't want this guy to think my name is Bill. I give a goddamn. He's going to fight the gangster from West Lynn. Here's what I'm going to do. That's either going to work or it's not. But this is what I'm going to do. I never understood it. But I'm unique about that. We had fighters, they'd kick you out if you came in to watch sparring. We're getting ready to do a countdown. We're getting ready to do an embedded. You're with Sherdog, huge media, right? Savage and the crew showed up. They worked hard. They've flown themselves in. You got Bader and Pyle coming in from Flow, from Austin. They got the hotels rented up the road, and it's a sparring that you tell them they can't come in. Oh, I can't have you filming this. My God. Well, hey, you knew the days. Why? Somewhere there was a mistake. You're going to have to go home. You're going to have to come back next week. I mean, these things happen all the time. Cost tens of thousands of dollars, and guys won't let me because they get their secrets. There was a very nice guy. I like him. He got a bad rap. His name was Juanito. He's a very nice guy. Got a very bad rap that was not true about him. But he was one of those guys. He was working with Rampage, and then he wanted to work with other guys. He didn't want them to know his secrets. He had combinations. Like, oh my God. Oh my God. You gotta be kidding me. He got an MMA. Juanito, very sweet guy. If he sees this, please. Very sweet, but he was a boxing guy. He was a boxing guy. Started training guys in MMA and said, wait a minute, in boxing, you got 2 hands that can only do 2 things. You go to the body or you can go to the head. You got a jab, a hook, and an uppercut. Jab across a hook and uppercut. That's all that you got. There's not a trick. Cares if you throw the jab and then the crow? Who cares if you go to the body and then the body? Who cares if you go say it's all been done before? You have no secrets. Nobody does. And that's what was so interesting about Khabib, right? The great boxer ever, Mike Tyson, was the one that didn't share your same opinion. He did not care that you knew that he was going to come out, he was going to go to your body, he was going to uppercut you through the middle, he was going to follow up with a hook. He did not care that you knew. He didn't care how many times you watched him. He didn't care how many highlights you saw. He did it to that guy. The guy before is going to do it to you. I admire that, though. I like when Babe Ruth walked to the mound and said where he was going to hit the ball. I think there's a courage with that. I don't see a courage in not saying, shucks, sometimes you get bucked off. I don't see the same courage in that. This is my opinion. And Khabib, 29 up and 29 down, not only took him down, he pushed him against the fence first. And see, this seemed to be one of the things that the opponents were missing. Stopping Khabib from taking you down, hard to do. Statistically, stopping Khabib from taking you down, if your back doesn't hit the fence, oh my God, it's like 99%. Hadn't fought a number of years, and I can't remember. It was well over 95%. Well over 95% of Khabib's takedowns came only after he pushed you into the fence. Did you guys know that? And one guy had a real hard time taking down. There was one guy that didn't let him push him in the fence. His name's Ally Aquino. Kept him right there in the middle of the ring. Just an interesting detail. Just a small detail. But I bring you that detail because when Henry says Belal is as close as we've got, I must assume that Henry is also talking about Belal's ability to not only pressure you, but to put you in the fence and go to work from there. I think, but it was a very big compliment. And Belal Muhammad's best performance, that's a hard one to say. But I believe, I know I'm right within top 3. I believe was against Brady. And I believe it was against Brady for what mentally he had to overcome in addition to the physicality. First off, Brady had never lost. 15 men, he beat them all. And frankly, they weren't all that close. He even switched over to a grappling and got the jump on Craig Jones, right? I mean, Brady was incredible. Blahal was a consummate main eventer. They flew him to a different continent, and they put him on an undercard against an undefeated Brady. It was just a very interesting situation. He had to overcome. He knew what was going on. He knew what the score was in the back, and however it happened, however it happened, but here I am, and I got to find a way. And he not only became the first man to ever beat Brady, he stopped him. And I just thought it was one of his most remarkable performances because of that. The physicality was amazing, but knowing what he was dealing with on the mentality side, he had Khabib in his corner. He said it inspired him. And that's a very real thing. You are much better to have a person in your corner that you draw inspiration from, that you want to make proud, than somebody that can give you accurate information. It was. I don't know which I was more lucky to have when I had Clayton Hires, just to personalize it. I had an expert. I had the greatest trainer in the sport, but I had somebody who I didn't want to let down. It was just an interesting thing. And when Blahal talked about this and he stepped up his performance and Khabib was in the corner and there was a different way that he spoke to him and there was a different way that Blahal looked at Khabib when he was being spoken to. And I believe it was a factor of his best performance to date. I believe if he's going to go on and fight Leon, that he should do his best to duplicate it. Let's see where that goes.